you did share, again, we said, you know, we called this thing It's All Garbage. This is such an apt weekend for it. You did share the Israel-Iran thing, so I'll let you go ahead and start, just like the thoughts you had on that and where we want to go with that conversation. So go ahead, take it away. That was you.
Yes. Sorry, something was beeping by me. I don't know if you heard that.
Carbon monoxide, folks, if you're hearing this, he's going to die.
I did get worried for a second. Am I doing that? Yeah, no, this is a problem. So basically, I said I just wanted to have an open chat about the escalation. Obviously, Israel battered Iran, I think, Thursday night into Friday? Or Friday night into Saturday, however that goes.
Something in Iran.
Took out a lot of top Iranian, military leadership and scientists. Iran has kind of responded, and it seems that their stuff's a little less guided. They're kind of just shooting in the dark, and they're just hitting downtown Tel Aviv and parts of Jerusalem, some of the suburbs. But you know for a fact that Trump and his admin knew about this ahead of time. There's no way they didn't, right?
No.
Netanyahu,
They did.
There's a channel of communication between these two administrations often. And there's actually some reports coming out now that apparently Israel had a chance at assassinating sort of I forget the name of the position, I think the chief Ayatollah or whatever the leader of, and the Trump admin, basically told them no. And I don't know if that's because it was with the help of U.S. military or intelligence or whatever. So I guess some credit there, but clearly they greenlit Israel just lobbing missiles into Iran.
So if you believe that they can stop them, you definitely believe that they heard something about this. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Both, yeah.
100%.
If you believe the one,
I don't think Israel does this unless the Trump admin says yes, okay. We will tolerate
I
this,
agree,
at the
because
least.
what you're doing is potentially inviting other countries into the mix as well. And if that does happen, you cannot do that without your strongest ally. Correct.
And it concerns me that we get more involved.
So,
especially since Iran is just lobbing missiles back, and they're actually starting to do some real damage and scaring people of Israel now. So I don't.
So I unfortunately, and as always, want to hear what you think. I unfortunately think that the man who I saw getting sold by many different people, including himself, as the anti-war candidate last year that won. Unfortunately, that same man, I think, would have less hesitation than any Republican or Democrat in recent memory that's more normie to just put boots on the ground. I don't think that there's going to be boots on the ground from the U.S. I don't. I think that even Trump, the most unshackled from, especially second-term Trump, the most unshackled president from giving a fuck about what people think in history, and also just unhinged, even he, doesn't matter who's around him. As long as there's people around him, they are involved in Republican politics, and they have to think about post-Trump politics as well. I think that is still enough for the most unshackled, complete smooth brain in history to not necessarily put boots on the ground. But I think that at the end of the day, second-term Trump doesn't give a shit, because I think he tried to play footsie with doing more than 2 terms, and I think he kind of found out early it's not going to happen, and systems will hold up at least against that. So I think he's starting to not give a shit. So if he feels like to himself, I'm boys with Netanyahu, and he says put some boots on the ground, I think more than any other president he would actually do that. I'm not saying he's gonna, but it's not a great situation. I don't think that it's off the table with Trump, which sucks. Do you agree or no?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. But I actually come at it from a different angle, because I don't think it's because he doesn't give a fuck.
Well, I mean about running another election, but go ahead.
Well, even that, I think his motivations aren't that he doesn't give a fuck because he won't run again. It's more if he thinks it will benefit opinions of him, like polls of him, that he would absolutely
Where?
do it.
Where would that
I
benefit him?
can't.
Because the
I
same man
don't
ran
think
as
it does,
in
though.
so
Right.
and you could make arguments he didn't, but in the corners that I saw, the same man ran as the anti-war candidate compared to Kamala last year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that those two things don't make sense together. They
Yeah,
don't
but he
make
kind of
sense
splits the
together.
difference too, right? Because he also, like, yeah, that's some of his rhetoric. Some other parts of his rhetoric include being a strong man, not being a
I
pushover,
agree. There's
protecting
arguments that you can
Americans.
make, but there's no question that those things were said as far as being anti-war compared to Kamala. That is true. Now,
Yeah.
again, arguments can be made, and that's fine. But the fact that there's actual quotes from himself about
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
anti-war,
Yeah.
it's crazy that he would sit here and actually think that if I war, people will think better of me. I don't put it past him, though. So I don't even think you're all the way wrong. I don't put it past him.
Do you think? Let me ask
Because
you
June
this:
2025 is different than June 2024, Donald Trump. Motherfuckers on the borderline of dementia. Go ahead.
he is certainly not getting better with age. That's the truth.
What were you gonna say?
It's
Do you
funny
think
because
Oh, go ahead.
everybody shits on. Well, just as a quick aside, everybody shits on Biden for his decline. But man, go back and watch a
Trump's head.
2015 Trump stump speech during his campaign, like electioneering.
It's night and day.
It's a completely different
And
person.
I
Completely different.
do not want to give any credit to Donald Trump. Fuck that orange asphalt, that piece of crap.
Sure.
But
Sure.
um,
He's not
Biden
the same
has
man.
declined more than Trump. But that doesn't mean Trump
Sure.
hasn't as well. Like, I feel like that's the trap people get into.
Right.
Biden has declined more than Trump. Sure, I agree with that. But Trump is not good. So go ahead. Sorry.
No. But anyway, so I think if somebody could convince him, so there were rumors that when he assassinated Qasem Soleimani, which was that Iranian general in, I don't remember, 2017, 2018, in Syria, there was speculation that he thought he was going to get a poll bump.
Yep. I remember
Similar
this. We
to
talked about
what
this,
he
yep.
got after he got al-Baghdadi, which was the ISIS leader. He was like, "Oh, give me another terrorist that we can." Somebody just put a name down, and he fucking took him out. And to me, like, the implication is there. He will, if somebody can sell him the idea that this makes him look strong, or this makes him look, if this will give him a poll bump, he'll do it.
He'll do it.
I don't know.
Right.
That's a hard sell, putting actual U.S. troops in Iran. But I could see them
I agree.
providing assistance.
Right. I wasn't
You know what I
saying
mean?
he was
Not
gonna.
boots on the
But
ground, but
it sounds like you agree that he's more likely to do that, but still not likely at the end of the day.
probably not.
Right.
Not
Right.
boots.
But you have to put qualifications in there. But yeah.
They might. I
No,
could
they'll
see
help.
them.
Oh, they'll help. They'll help.
Correct. Air support.
At the very least,
Stuff like that.
this administration doesn't give a shit about anyone else, especially the judiciary. So at the very least, they could be like, you know what, fuck you. We're gonna take. You see this $3 billion that was supposed to go out the door for Ukraine? This thing that you passed in a bill like a year ago. We don't give a fuck. We're gonna take that $3 billion, just give it to Israel. We don't care. Because they've done that with other things. So why wouldn't they just? All right, this money will just. We don't care about the Ukraine-Russia war. We'll just redirect it to the brand new, nice and shiny. I'm anti-war, but here's a war for you: Iran-Israel war. So.
Well, I was told by Trump himself that as president-elect, he was going to end the Russia-Ukraine war. So, I'm a little disappointed, to say the least.
I think, you know what sucks, real quick as an aside? Everyone knew that wasn't true, even people that voted for Trump, that he would end it in a day. And he still wins. He still wins.
I know.
This is why, and by the way, a little admin note for this channel. The last video we posted got a ton of views.
It did.
I have no idea why, but it was probably because there's a lot of interest in how Democrats communicate to people these days, because that's the heart of what I'm about to just bitch about right now.
Sure.
We already did that. We already did that like a week and a half ago. So I'll just go watch that back again. But
oh, you don't want to seem like you were about to lean into it. I was ready.
No,
for
fuck
you to lean
that.
into
No, because we already talked about it. I'm just gonna drive myself insane. I don't. Whatever, man. You just stick to actual things going on. And
So I'm excited to be, because it feels like
Mhm.
he's losing a lot of political capital, even amongst his most ardent supporters at this point.
Trump is? What the fuck? How?
You don't think so?
I'm not gonna say I don't think so, but go ahead and sell me on it. Sell me, baby.
I think you have a whole mess of conservatives who are conservative, who aren't necessarily MAGA, who plugged their nose and voted for Trump
No.
again,
No. Okay, keep going. I'm back.
and they're realizing now the bullshit, even more so than the
Okay.
first term.
Even if I granted that you're right, really?
Okay.
After January 6th in the first term, you plugged your nose? Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Like, I can't get past that, man. I can't even let you finish that because that's crazy, man.
Wait,
And
sure.
the same people that might say, like, I plugged my nose and voted for him, but, like, I'm really happy about him crushing these, like, non-violent protests. It's like January 6th. You don't give a shit. It's just, and look,
I
we live in the age
agree.
of hypocrisy.
Just to be clear,
so we know
I
what it
agree
is.
with you.
But yeah, I know you do because we live in the age of hypocrisy and we're not assholes. All right, it's that simple. But it just feels like there's so many assholes out there. Go ahead.
I'll say this. I know a lot of very reasonable people in my day-to-day sphere of just like human contact that are very, did I say reasonable? I think I already did. They're very reasonable.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, despite January 6th, they voted for Trump in 24. 100%. And I don't know what that is. I think January 6th should be a red line for fucking anybody, which is nuts that it's been as minimized as it has been, particularly amongst the right. But, yeah, man, somehow they've been sold a bill where that makes, where Joe Biden's sins were great enough that we could look past it. Well, to them, it would be the system held. Yeah, there was a little bit of a riot, but the system held and Joe Biden became right. So, like, what's the big deal? That's basically what it boils down to for me, as far as my perception of what these people are believing, if that makes sense. Right, because the system held.
Yeah, but you could look that person in the face and say the system held after the first term, but now the second term, everyone's even more gassed up. What do you think's going to happen now?
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a lot of regret.
Like, what do you think that's going to happen now? It's going to be bad. Dude, I don't even think there's fucking regret.
It is bad.
People like that see the protests against ICE and they say, they don't give a shit. I don't even think there's regret now, but I think there might be eventually when there's enough. And look, politics and opinions do not a job make, do not put food on the table, do not make the world go round for anyone in their environment. So the only way that this goes bad, and I do think it does, is that you kill the economy enough, and then people will.
Yes.
But I think we've learned with this conversation and what we know now here in 2025 with the amount of people that didn't give a fuck about January 6th and would still vote for Trump again. They don't care until it actually comes home to roost. We've seen, you've seen specific Hispanics that voted for Trump and even publicly like advocated for Trump regretting it because mass deportation didn't just involve criminal illegals, which a lot of people are saying, like, we thought it was just criminal illegals. It's like, no. Right. How do you think this shit works? All of these ICE agencies and all these places, because Stephen Miller's pulling the strings, is giving them quotas. They're giving quotas, and, like, when you're given a quota and you got to meet it, you're on a timeline, are you just going to go out and do the hard work of finding actual illegals that are harder to trace? Or are you just going to go find people that you can just round up? People you just round up. You know what I'm saying? You should find people you just round up. Who cares? Like, anyways.
Which Trump pulled back on that actually over this past weekend.
I know. He please. A truce doesn't mean he pulled back. But go ahead.
A truce.
He truthed, didn't he? Is that what you're saying? Or sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sure. I think there was also like he was asked a question by a journalist or something or other.
Okay.
But yeah, it seems like he's gotten phone calls, I would imagine, from big companies that understand that running through farm fields is going to have a large downstream effect. I'm saying to take, illegals out, hitting the farm fields, hitting certain aspects of the economy rather than just criminals has a way different implication for the average American than Trump realizes. It seems like, at least.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Or have I lost you?
100%. No.
Okay. I guess we'll see. I don't know if a truth actually means policy, but it does seem like they're going to pull back a bit. And I think it's because powerful people are calling Trump and they're saying, what the fuck?
Yeah, and he posted, again, what I was referencing was he posted that truth where it's like, oh, people in the farm and the hotel business have been telling me that, shit is being effective.
I didn't even see that.
Yeah, that's kind of what he tried. I didn't see his actual media comment, but he truthed that out where it's like, oh, we're trying to just get the criminals. It's like, no, the fuck you're not, you stupid asshole. Like, there's literally a Supreme Court decision against you that you haven't even followed through on, which, by the way, is unconstitutional. They told you to do something and you're not doing it. What the fuck's going on? Why do we even have a Supreme Court? Besides the point. Where they sent that Abrego Garcia guy. Still not back.
Sure.
So.
No, he is back. He's back.
What? Is he?
He is.
Oh, okay. Well, it took him a long-ass time.
They are trying him now for human trafficking, among some other charges, but he is back in the U.S.
You know what? That's actually good. Like, he should be back, so that's good.
Sure. At least they're,
not giving him credit because they're fucktards.
At least it's due process.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, sure. I mean,
no, we're not giving him credit.
Garcia, how many other people have just been disappeared under the radar? You know what I mean? Did you see that they were trying to send a bunch of illegals to South Sudan? It was like 20 or more.
I didn't see more details on that, but I did see that.
I think like one of them was from Sudan, and the rest they were just like, yeah, we just want to dump them here. And
you know what's funny?
Like, dude, you can't do that. You can't just dump people wherever the fuck you want.
Yeah. So did they have? Did you read any details into that? I didn't. Was there an agreement with the country? Like, what the hell was up with that? Were they South Sudanese, like, civilian, like...
No.
Like,
one
citizens?
person was from South Sudan. Most of them were from... Some of them were Indian. Some of them were... Most of them were from, like,
just fucking trying to drop them off, like you said, wherever they want.
I haven't looked too much into it. I don't think there was an agreement with South Sudan, but don't quote me on that.
Well, I watched...
It's just hilarious. Like, why the fuck would you bring them there? Even if South Sudan was like, yeah, that's cool. Like, what the fuck? Right? Say you're from Central America, and now you have to, like, just make a living in South Sudan. Like, what the fuck?
Like, you wouldn't stick out like a sore thumb. Like, you're a Spanish white boy. What are you doing
here? Also, you don't know the language. You don't know the
culture.
By
the way, I watched a Vice documentary the other day. Or maybe the other month. It was called, like... Capitalist Cowboys in Africa, and it was about like traveling through South Sudan as a white. Well, it wasn't about traveling through South Sudan as a white guy. There was like a point of traveling through South Sudan. They were trying to get somewhere, but like every 20, 30 kilometers, they got stopped by like police because if you don't look like everyone else where you are, everyone's gonna question you. That's how the world works. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So, you drop a bunch of fucking random Hispanics off in South Sudan. Hey, who are you? You're gonna die. Yeah. You're gonna fucking die because everyone's gonna be like, "Who are you? We don't give a shit about you. Get out of here. Fuck you."
It's like, what? You're supposed to hack a living now? Like,
you're homeless.
You don't know the language.
You're homeless. Figure it out.
Yeah, you are begging on the
streets.
streets.
Think to yourself,
like
this is a wild tangent for this, but you ever think to yourself, like, if someone just dropped me off and was homeless in a city, would I make it? You ever think to yourself that?
For sure. Yeah, who doesn't think about that? Could I hack it in an urban
Could you hack it? Well, how do you come out there? In my dreams, I come out massively English, positive. I come out as the mayor at the end. But go ahead, how do you come out?
That's crazy, because I come out the president in the end. In those,
Don't fart on me, this motherfucker over here. Anyway.
Did you hear? Yeah, what the?
This fucking piece of shit. It's because I gassed myself up too much. That's why he had to pass the gas. I get it.
Yeah, it felt necessary.